Can you give me some vocals?
Testing, mic check. 1 2 1 2 mic check. Mic
Perfect,
check.
perfect. Oh. Okay, that's good. Why did it log me out of Spotify? Log back into Spotify.
Why is it logging you?
Sweet. There we go. Nice. Damn, our Evil Dead episode has kind of fallen off.
Yeah.
It's got 4 plays.
I don't think a lot of people were too interested in that one.
No, the day it came out, our Cocaine Bear episode got more plays than Evil Dead Rise did the day that episode dropped.
Yep.
Oh, and 2 people listened to our Mandalorian episode yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Who's doing that? I don't know. Some weirdo.
They're just like, yes, I love these Mandalorian podcast.
Oh, I love We Talk Film. They're my favorite podcast. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I've got a bunch of notes for some movie news. Some of it you might know, some of it you don't know, because some of it was pretty surprising to me. I got my reviews for Visions and my reviews for Muppets.
Yes, which I really enjoyed, if I'm being honest.
Same. That's why I was like, Barry, you gotta watch it.
I was surprised that I would enjoy that. I was like,
I would, yeah.
Fucking Muppets, because I hated the fucking Muppets.
Oh, no, I love some of the stuff. I like some of the movies. Oh, he carried that show.
He's the whole reason why I watched the show, Clayton.
Yeah, that's true. You're like, is animal in it? Yes, Barry. Good. All right. Well, are we ready to go?
I got stuff in my mouth.
Oh, no.
All right, let's do this.
All right. Same plan as always. Let's take it away.
Let's take it away.
3.
Welcome back, everybody, to We Talk Film. As always, I am your host, Barry, joined by Clayton. And yeah, we're doing another episode of We Talk Film, episode 12. And what are we doing today, Clayton? What are we doing today?
Hello, everybody. I'm kidding, Barry. Let's start this one again. Your audio cut out right as I went record.
No. Seriously?
Yeah, it went. And welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, everybody.
All right, let's go again.
Do you sound like Dr. Teefs? Dr. Teefs? Out of the bayou on crawfish. Ooh.
There we go.
Hey, okay. Whoa.
So yeah, it's a separate recording tab now.
Oh, okay. Why is the audio being shit? I don't know.
Let's just press go again and we'll see what happens.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Look, as long as the start's good, it's fine. All right, counting down.
Welcome back, everybody, to We Talk Film. I am your host, Barry, joined as always by Clayton, and today we're doing episode 12. We're getting there, Clayton, you know? We're getting there. We're a committed podcast now. So what are we doing today, Clayton?
Well, today we're hitting you with a double television feature, a double Disney television feature, 2 of the latest series to hit Disney Plus. Today we're bringing you season 2 of Star Wars Visions, something I was really excited for, as well as something that I didn't know was coming out until it came out. That was Muppets Mayhem.
Yes. I didn't even know this was a thing being made, and it was just like, hey, Barry, we're going to watch this for the podcast. You need to watch it. And I was just like, hey, has it got animal in it? And you're like, yep. I was like, I'm down. I can dig it with animal. Animal's my favorite Muppets, man. Got Animal and then Kermit.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I always liked Gonzo. He was always my favorite. It was Gonzo and then it was Kermit. Yeah. That was really funny. I was like, Barry, we watched this new Muppets show. It's actually kind of good. And you're like, I'm not watching this Muppets show unless it has animal in it. It took a lot of convincing for you to do.
Yes, yes, it
But
did.
from the sounds of it, it seems like you enjoyed it.
I love this thing. I loved it.
Yeah.
Very much so.
No,
Okay.
oh, that's good. Oh well.
So we
Well,
were
before
yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh,
Oh, yeah,
before
oh.
we get yeah, surprise, Barry. Before we get stuck into those two new TV shows, I would like to propose a new segment on you guys. It's film news time, Barry.
Wow, wow. We
Oh
really need a
boy.
sound effect for that. We really
Yeah, I'll
did.
get one.
You said it so bad. He's like, I think Clayton got Tourette's this weekend.
The top story this
Yes.
week is I have a speech impediment. No.
He got hit on the
Oh,
head.
no, we're gonna start bringing you the latest film and television news every week. And this week I've got some stories for you, Barry. I don't know if you've heard the latest in trailer news. We got some
Trailer
brand new trailers
news?
this week. Yeah, we got a
Ooh.
trailer for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Did you watch that one?
I did. I am very much looking forward to another Tom Cruise film. I mean, it's Tom Cruise. He's like
Yeah,
pretty good at what he does.
it looks
and
good.
it's more Mission Impossible. It's looking good. It's just like when
Yep.
it's part 1 though. That always puts me off when it's like part 1 and
Oh,
part 2
yeah.
these days. I'm just like, God
True,
fucking damn it.
true.
Just like make a standalone film.
Oh, and you know it's going to be 2.5 hours long anyway.
Oh, yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
man. No, it looked a lot like Mission Impossible trying to do John Wick, but that's not a bad thing.
No,
Like,
that is not a bad
yeah.
thing. That's the thing. You got to think
No, I'm
about it. Mission
excited for it.
Impossible has been around for a very long time. The franchise, anyway,
Oh yeah,
like older than
Yeah.
me. So that's getting old.
yeah. Well,
Um,
I love the first movie.
yeah. And so there
Yeah.
is. When I did watch it, I was like, this looks kind of like John Wick-esque. They're going more of that approach
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, that's pretty cool. It kind of needs to do
Yeah.
that.
I know. It looked like it was shot like John Wick. Just the
Yeah.
vibe and everything, and just all the camera work. I'm like, this
Yep.
kind of feels the same. But no, that's
good.
fair.
That's good. It's real good.
Yeah. And also we had a trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's. Did you see that one?
I did, and it's got Shaggy in it and the kid from
Yeah.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard and Josh Hutcherson. Oh boy, this one looks good too.
Rut
We got
row,
two
Raggy.
good trailers.
Rut row. It's a bear, Raggy. It's a bear. Wonder how many Scooby-Doo references there's going to be in this film.
I hope. Oh, I hope so. That's gonna be great. They can make it a sequel. They can make it. That's what Shaggy did after Scooby Doo. Started up like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Filled
that one
with
looks good.
demonic animatronics. Yep.
Yeah, so we got trailers for those two, and we got another trailer and some reviews
trailers.
about for Killers of the Flower Moon, the new Scorsese film. I haven't seen the trailer yet.
I fell in love. This is amazing. This is my type of film. This is a Berry type of film.
Oh wow!
It's based upon true events, and it's basically about the oil fields of the early 1900s, late 1800s, that time. So cowboy time,
Ooh,
the Industrial
that sounds
Revolution
cool.
time.
I know
Like
nothing about
Native
it.
Americans and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
it's so good. 3.5 hours though. 3.5 hours.
yeah, that's where I was
Yeah.
getting to. The next part is people are saying it's good, but beware because it's a 3.5 hour
It's
movie.
a Scorsese
Like-
film. You're gonna expect it to be long.
I know, but it's like they better bring back intermissions or something for movies like this because I don't know if I can have a drink and not have to get up to pee at some point during that movie. I'm sorry,
yeah.
Scorsese, but I'm sure your bladder's not any better.
Fair point. He is 90, so
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that was it for trailers this week, but we had some other general news. The
lay it
first
on
one,
me. Lay it on me.
lay it on you. The Barbie movie coming out in July is not going to feature the song from Aqua. Instead, it's going to feature a cover of that song by someone called Alice Glass, who I've never heard of, but apparently it's going to be like one of those modern covers that they throw in a movie rather than putting the original.
That's a bit odd. I don't know why they wouldn't do that because that's such an
I don't know
iconic
either.
song for Barbie. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe copyright reasons might be something along there. Maybe that's why they have to put the
I
cover
don't
version
know.
in it.
I don't know, man. It's kind of
So-
weird.
It is kind of weird.
Yeah, they haven't said anything apart from the fact that that's what they wanted to do. Apparently, the director was like, "No, I wanted this." So,
Mm.
I don't know.
We'll see
I
how it
don't know.
goes. It still looks phenomenal anyway.
Yeah,
So-
we'll see how it goes. Next up, this one could be a big thing. The removal of certain Disney Plus content as they cut back films. Cut back,
Yes.
because apparently they lost $400 million in revenue from streaming
Yes,
service
so
last
they're doing
quarter.
like a massive
Oh,
tax
God.
write-off at the moment and getting a whole bunch of shows that are on Disney Plus at the moment that are new shows that they did make that came out and just getting rid of them because of tax reasons.
Yes. For example, the Willow series that was
Never watched
critically
it.
panned as awful
Yep.
is getting axed, but that came out this year.
Yep.
And same with the Sex Pistol show, Pistol. That's getting axed. Yep. So and apparently that was kind of good. So it's like, I don't know, man. They're scrapping things. They're scrapping a couple
it's
other
Disney.
ones.
That's a massive multi-trillion-dollar company, man. Like you just like if you can't meet a certain limit, you're scrapped. Sorry,
but it's awful because it's like these are only available on Disney Plus, and they're removing it. So
I know
you're never going to
it's
be
not
able
great.
to watch these again.
And that's why people still pirate things and everything like that. That's why that's still a problem because of streaming wars and stuff like that. Yeah, it is awful.
I know. Yeah, well, it
But it
seems
does
like
happen.
if you wanted to watch either of those shows, you might not have much of a choice in that matter. Oh, and this is my last story of the week, and this one is surprising. Apparently, they are rebooting a Pink Panther. They're rebooting Pink Panther with Eddie Murphy set to star.
Okay. So no Steve Martin returning?
No Steve Martin. Apparently, it's going to use a mix of CG and live action, and it's from the director that did the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
So they're actually going to have a real Pink Panther this time around, not the detective?
That's what it seems like.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'd say they're probably going to be like, yeah, well, it's got Eddie Murphy, so pretty reasonable. I'll still watch it just because of Eddie Murphy. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. I am very intrigued to see how that's going to be played. Is it a TV show or series? Movie, sorry.
A movie.
Ooh, okay.
Movie.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Reboot.
Yep.
So yeah, there's not much other info than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else have I got? My last story. Mortal Kombat 2 been panned to film in Queensland. Carl Urban might be Johnny Cage.
Might be. I'm hoping.
Might be.
Fingers crossed.
Oh boy. I see it working.
Yeah.
But I also didn't like the first one that they did. So I hope that it's... No, I liked it, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, man.
They could have done so much more. Like, I enjoyed it for what it was, but it's just like, it could have been so much more. Could have been so much more.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll throw that out there. Also, while on the subject of Mortal Kombat, I know this isn't film or television news, but we're getting a new Mortal Kombat game in September, so that might tie into some movie news.
Mortal Kombat.
It looks good, man.
It does look good.
Mortal Kombat 1.
They're like rebooting the franchise again by the looks of it, so we're going back all the way to number 1.
Oh boy,
modern age.
That looks good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they throw in some film-related info around the time that game comes out.
Probably.
But anyway, that's it for news this week. Unless you had anything you want to throw at me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I enjoyed I enjoyed the stuff that we're going to be talking about today. So let's move on to what we're going to talk about. Do you want to talk about Visions first or Muppets?
Oh, that's a tough choice. I'll let you pick.
All right, let's start with Visions because I've got that up on my screen all ready to go.
Oh, I've got that up too. Nice.
Oh, that's nice. Look at that. We're prepared. We're definitely prepared for the podcast. So before we start on this segment of the podcast, as always, we have a little spoiler alert. Going back to the Star Wars spoiler alert, just because, it's Star Wars themed. So you have been warned, listeners, to the podcast.
I think someone's crashing the ship in the background.
So we watched Star Wars Visions Season 2, which came out with all the episodes again. And yes, I find this season already to be better than what they did in the first season. I very much enjoyed the season more, all the stories that they told, everything like that to it was a lot more. So let's start with number 1, episode 1, Sith by El Guri Studios. A former Sith apprentice leading a peaceful but isolated life is confronted by the past when her old master tracks her down. This was like the very artsy style one, very much like Spider-Verse style, and all paintings and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. I like the art style for this one a lot.
This was probably my favorite of the season. Not gonna lie.
Oh, really?
I thought this one was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just from a visual perspective alone, I loved it. I was like, yeah, this is really cool. Um, yeah, the thing about this season is I honestly think some of them were a bit lackluster. I've got mixed feelings this season. I had mixed feelings about the first one,
Yep. Yep.
but I mean that had arguably cool ones, like the samurai opening episode of the first season is
Oh
still my
yeah.
favorite by far.
Yeah. That still tops it. That was
And
so
yeah,
cool.
oh yeah, and this kind of feels similar in that, but in a different way. I mean, this felt very Star Wars, but also again, story wise was kind of lacking. This was more of a visual episode. Just kind of look at
Yeah.
the cool
Yeah.
lightsaber fight,
Yep.
which I digged. So it was a cool opening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't mind it all. Like I said,
yeah.
a lot of companies now you can see it because Spider Verse has done so well that it's like we're going to do
Mm-hmm.
the same art style now. Look at us, we do that now. We're very good. We're very good. We copy you. But yeah,
I
no,
mean, fair enough. It looks cool.
for like a starting episode, I thought it was pretty cool. Like very like the colors in it and everything like that was very bright. I actually
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
watched the first few episodes on my like big massive 85-inch TV and it looked like amazing on that. So I was like, oh.
I got my 32-inch TV behind me, man. I was smashing them out on that.
Woo!
Yeah.
We'll go into episode 2 then, which is called Screech's Reach by Cartoon Saloon. A young girl seeking reprieve from her days in a rural workhouse discovers a legendary haunted cave with her friends. The cave's dark pool would change the trajectory of her life forever. So yeah, I actually really like this one. I'm not sure if it was my
I
favorite
like
or my
this one
second
too.
favorite, but this one was like really like kind of like eerie vibes and everything like that. I was like, because we did the horror
Yeah.
podcast last week as well. If you haven't listened to that audience, go and listen to it because only 4 people apparently listen to it. So, we all need the love and attention
Oh,
to that podcast as we need. But yeah, it was very like, ooh, we are like got a little bit of a horror-esque Star Wars element for
Yeah.
once. And it was like, yeah, it was very eerie, very creepy. I'm still not sure what that witch
yeah.
lady thing was.
I don't know. No, this was my second favorite episode. This one felt really weird because it starts off like a kids kind of let's go on an adventure, and then it just gets more and more dark and eerie as they go along. And I'm like, what is this, man? This one, was a very, very kids show art style to it as well, and it was weird.
Oh yeah.
Really liked it though. It was
Yeah.
really cool.
And then like obviously right at the end, it's like I'm guessing that entity was like something to do with the Sith. And
I
that's
don't know.
the thing with or visions and stuff like that. It's all like it's not canon, is it? It's just like do
No,
your own
no.
thing. Okay. Yeah. Because I was like
Yeah,
making
it's all
sure
just
about
do
things. I'm
whatever
just
you want.
like, what? Like when is this paced in the Star Wars timeline of things and
yeah.
stuff like that? Like I was just like,
No,
is it
yeah.
possible to add this in somewhere? But yeah, it was very much like a Goonies type adventure. And then it just got like
Yeah.
really, really dark. And I was like, oh, bro, oh, like this
Very
is
weird.
animated. And then like the Sith
Yeah.
at the end was like, that's cool.
Scary, man. No, the
Yeah.
thing about these, they're all self-contained, like 10-minute episodes. They're in their own little thing, completely detached from everything else Star Wars apart from the license.
Yeah.
It allows for some cool stuff, but it also makes me want more from certain stories. It's like I want a whole season of the samurai Jedi guy running around, or I want more of this, double the length of this episode. It's like I want more
Oh, yeah.
from some of them.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
some of these ideas, what they do come up with and everything like that. You guys could see this as a full like movie potentially, like the basis of
Yeah.
a full movie. Some of them, like how
Some
well
cool
the
ideas.
overall idea of it. But that's the thing. Like I want them to like eventually with the Star Wars like properties and stuff like that is do stuff like this, like just kind of out there type Star Wars stuff, but like as feature
Mhm,
films. And just like
Yeah.
in multiple sections of the timeline of the Star Wars universe. Just like get away from everything that we've like keep connecting to things and stuff like that. I'm just like, do like individual stories of just random people,
Yeah. It would be really cool. I mean, when this season was coming out, Studio Ghibli were rumored to be doing a movie,
Yeah.
and then it was like, oh no, they're doing a Visions thing.
And
but
then
it's
they
like-
didn't do a Visions thing.
Yeah. Sadly.
So-
So maybe they are doing a movie? I don't know. That could be cool.
Imagine if they're doing like
Probably
their own
not.
show.
Oh, maybe. We don't know, man. Star Wars
mean-
is in a weird place.
Yeah, it would be very cool to see a movie come from Studio Ghibli. Because
yeah.
obviously they are working on something besides just that little like Grogu thing that they did
Yeah,
for him.
that's true.
But yeah. Well, we'll go on to episode 3 anyway, which is In the
Yeah.
Stars by In the Stars Animation Studio. I think I might have gotten that wrong. But yeah, two sisters, the last of their kind who live in hiding on their ravaged land, squabble about on how to survive the empires encroaching on a water run. The sisters must fight back when they are discovered. Oh yeah, this is the one where like they're force sensitive almost, or like the younger
Yeah, that's right.
sister is, and they're like taken over by the
Yeah.
empire and everything like that. Yeah, same type of thing. It was just like cool art style, cool little
Yeah, it
story.
was cool. I like the TIE fighter in this one.
Oh,
The cool
yes.
design of like the rusticy looking one with its guns like attached to the bottom of it. It looked really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some awesome designs in these that I really want them to carry over into regular Star Wars. It's like, how cool would that TIE fighter look if it was just some
seeing
bounty
that,
hunter dudes?
That would be
Woohoo.
absolutely amazing to see some of like the designs
man.
in live action Star Wars.
Lucasfilm should be taking notes, honestly.
I
on some
mean,
things.
you hope that they are because of
You hope
obviously
so.
it's them still releasing all this.
Yeah, they already own the look of these things.
Yeah.
It's like, take some inspiration from these cool different designs because we haven't seen anything new.
No,
in
and
terms of,
even
equipment
what the
ships and stuff.
sisters look like. They're like alien
Yeah,
species or
very
whatever
cool.
like that. Very cool. I would like to see like something like that in live action of that design. Even though there's only 2 of them left, but it'd be like cool to see some of these things just like tie over to live action potentially one day.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah, well, they could take the look of them and just say that that's a species now. We can take that. I mean, they've done that with concept art. They've done that with all sorts of stuff throughout the years. It's just, let's take this design and do something cool with it.
Yeah.
Which I hope they do with lots of the stuff from this show. But
well, on to the next one, anyone, which I know you're looking forward to this episode, which is I Am Mother by A. Ardman, which before we go ahead, I didn't like this. I expected better from them, if I'm being honest. But we got young pilot Annie, who is embarrassed by her sweet but clean mum, must team with her for a family race at the academy. Along the way, the relationship is tested by the elements, their old ship, other races, and each other. Yeah, this was kind of just, this is very mid.
Yeah, it was awful. And honestly, because I love the art style that Aardman puts into his things, or the Wallace and Gromit look. It was awesome to look at. The opening part of this episode where the Jawas like running along and ripping stuff out of like robots and things.
Everything about it like just looked amazing, and how much detail everything was, like even on just the background of all the scenes and everything like that was just on point. But the overall story, you're just like, is that it?
It sucked.
It fucking sucked. Even like the characters in it were just like, I don't give a shit about these kids. Nothing happened at all.
And they did my boy Wedge Antilles wrong in it as well.
That's right.
They
He's
made
in
him
it.
kind of like a stuck-up douche, and I'm like, what?
What? He's not
was
like
a
that.
Republic hero, man.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, we'll go on to episode 5, Journey to the Dark Head by Studio Mir. A hopeful mechanic is disillusioned, and a disillusioned young Jedi team up for a risky but unlikely quest to turn the tide of the galactic war, but dark forces tail them. This one was pretty fucking cool. I will admit, this was probably my favorite one of the season.
That's
just
fair.
like the whole atmosphere to it. You got these like 2 characters and how it began with like the priestess and stuff like that, having all the visions, and they weren't exactly maybe not connected to the Jedi in a way, but this their own entity. And then they had the Jedi kid and the Sith guy going head to head at the end, and the epic battle, and it was just like on that floating thing, and I was like, oh my god, that's cool. But this one I actually want to go back and watch again, maybe a couple times.
Yeah. I will say I did love this episode. It might be tied for first because I forgot about this one.
Yeah.
Because I watched it. But this was a cool story. This was one where the story was top tier. This is what I want to see more of. Like, imagine a season where it's just the adventures of those 2 journeying around while the Jedi Good's, quelling with his past, and there's that whole force thing and the balance, and you can't mess with one side without affecting the other, and all of that stuff was really cool.
Yeah.
And it feels like this could be taken over into a live action kind of story. Maybe something like the Acolyte
I could
do something
definitely
similar to
see
this.
like this in live action. something along those lines.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm really looking
The
forward
whole
to
lines are
Acolyte
blurred.
by the sounds of it, because of like who they got cast in it, who's
Hopefully.
actually like directing it, what they're
Mm.
proposed they're actually doing. And apparently some screen test stuff or early behind the scenes stuff got released at Star Wars Celebration this year of Acolyte.
Mhm.
And what people said, it's basically like if you gave like samurais lightsabers in Star Wars, that's
Hell
what it
yeah.
is. And just like
Yeah, I
full
mean,
on
that's awesome.
proper like sword fighting combat. Like a lot of people saying
Yeah.
that well, the people behind the scenes anyway, it's going to have the best like sword fighting lightsaber fights in all of Star Wars.
Whoa.
That's what
That's
they've
a
really
high
tried to
bar.
focus on. Yeah. So
Oh,
I was like,
man. I
it
mean,
sounds
the
good.
whole the whole idea of the Jedi was to mimic the kind of samurai ideals. I mean, that's the reason Obi-Wan wore
Yeah.
those robes and fought like he did in the first one. It's,
Yep.
you know, he's meant to be an old samurai.
The
So
old
I
samurai.
kind of love that.
Yeah.
Kind of love that, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
All right, so on to episode
Ooh.
6, The Spy Dancer by Studio La Cachette. The premiere dance at a famous Imperial frequented cabaret uses her unique skill set to spy for the rebellion, but the presence of a mysterious officer threatens her to derail her mission. This one, yeah, it was kind of cool. I still really enjoyed it, like the whole scene and everything like that. The way they animated the costume design for the dancer
Yeah.
in this one, and like
It
then
looked really
used it
cool.
for combat, which was just like another step
mhm.
up as well. And it was a very nice like kind of story as well. It was basically about the dancer. Turns out she had a kid that got taken away by the Imperials 20 years ago, and then this one that does show up is actually her son, and she's like, oh, well, what do I do now type thing and everything like that. But yeah, no, very good. Like not so the animation style was a bit like but like how they animated it though, like it was very like flowing with everything, especially like with the dress and all like the ribbon stuff that they were doing during the dance, and then you're going to the combat scene, and there was a K2SO robot in there.
I saw that. Yeah,
that was cool.
I
really like seeing them.
Yeah.
Star Wars now. I'm just like,
No,
yay, K2.
I really vibed with this episode, man. I loved the way the art style flowed. It was just like enticing to watch, honestly.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't look as detailed as some of the other ones, it's like this one kind of just felt nice.
Felt nice to watch. Yeah,
I liked it. Yeah, it was really cool.
And I like the with the stormtroopers, like the weird vehicle thing that they have at the beginning.
Oh,
how it like goes up and then comes down. I don't think we've seen that in live action.
No, I don't think so. That was probably
that would
just,
actually be really cool to see in live action. But it was kind of cool just like seeing stormtroopers as well, just being like normal people and just going to a club.
Yeah,
I was like, that's
they were
cool.
funny looking stormtroopers too. They felt very like boxy. It was kind of cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, episode
next?
7, the Bandits of Golak. Golak. This is the Indian one by Golak.
Yeah.
This was by 88 Pictures. Fleeing from their village by train and pursued by ferocious Imperial forces, a boy and his force-sensitive younger sister seek refuge in a vibrant and dangerous Dahaba. So yeah, this was obviously very Indian-esque inspired. This one, obviously, all the voice actors and everything like that. Doing obviously sounding Indian and all the style of it all and what they were wearing and stuff like that. I was like, this is pretty cool. And then there's like an old lady Jedi with dual wields lightsabers, which we haven't seen in a while anyway. It's always cool when someone's dual wielding lightsabers, goes up against another Inquisitor. I'm guessing, he was an Inquisitor. And it was just like a little story, and it was in the same art style as almost what they do for Clone Wars in like Bad Batch.
I was gonna say, like this felt like an episode out of the Bad Batch. It wouldn't have surprised me if the dude takes his sister to the village, and then the Bad Batch show up and have to rescue him out of there. It would have fit.
Yeah, would have fit perfectly.
It was all right.
It was all right.
I liked it.
Yeah, cool. So episode 8, The Pit. By Lucasfilm and Dahat Astagia. I probably butchered that name. A fearless young prisoner forced to dig for Kyber for the Empire plans a risky escape. He and his people. Yes, this was one where they're just in the middle of the desert digging holes to get Kyber crystals, and then he's like, "I'm going to be free," and then it was kind of like Dark Knight reminiscent. of when he has to climb out
Pretty
of the
much,
pit, and then basically he gets caught, dies, and they're like, "Let's be free!" And then all the people start rallying behind him, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was really it. This one.
Yeah, it was alright. It wasn't my favorite this
Nah,
season.
it was kind
kind of
of
cool.
like I'm trying to
Felt
think
kind of
of the animation
generic.
style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've seen like it
Um,
almost like Boondock Saints a bit, the animation style.
yeah, I was thinking kind of just cartoony
Yeah, yeah.
in terms of that.
Something you would
Kind
see
of
on
anime
Cartoon
inspired.
Network. Yeah,
Yeah. Almost Avatar Last Airbender sort of thing, but
yeah, but a
bit more funky.
bit more
Yeah.
funky. Yeah,
It
and that
was okay.
leads us to the final episode of this season, which is Ayu's song by Triggerfish. An alien child who longs to sing is raised by her loving but stern father to stay quiet because of the calmicious effect of her voice on the crystals in the nearby mines. So basically, she's like somewhat force sensitive to the crystals, which
Yeah.
I'm guessing were kyber crystals, is what they were
It
mining.
says kyber crystals, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I didn't actually mind this one at all. I really liked the kind of like felt art style, what they did to it. It was kind of like stop
Yeah.
motion esque. I
Kinda
think it
cool.
told this very like loving story of a father trying to protect his daughter. And then obviously there was a Jedi where they were getting the kyber, or the Jedi was getting the kyber crystal from the father, and he didn't really want her to leave and everything like that. But she kind of understood that she does have a purpose, being force sensitive and everything like that. And yeah, it was very, very nice. I really liked the style of it all and how they did it.
Yeah, no, this one was cool. It felt like a Pixar episode at some points on it, you know? It had that kind of heartfelt vibe to it.
Yeah.
But, you know, story's still a little generic. All of these kind of felt like you could predict what was going to happen, and I kind of wanted a little bit more experimentation from these studios. It feels like they all kind of played it safe, which I don't know, man.
Well, that's the
It's
thing.
like
I
if you're
feel
going to
like
do something wacky, do something wacky.
Yeah, but I feel like for Star Wars Visions, it's still very much like, what are we
It was still
meant to
good,
do
yeah.
in like, because there's still certain boundaries you still have to like set into for doing something Star Wars related. Like you can't go too wacky with stuff.
That's fair.
Even though like the whole
I
point
don't know,
of this is to kind of do that, but there is a certain aspect you still have to follow to do Star Wars related things.
That's fair. I suppose they do have to kind of keep the core of Star Wars in everything that they do, but you know what? I mean, none of these episodes were bad. None of Visions has been bad. It's all cool, unique little stuff that I'm probably never going to watch again.
Exactly.
But it was cool.
It was cool, and I can't wait for season 3 if they make season 3.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was
I'm
really
always
looking
down
forward
for
to
more.
like see a Studio Ghibli one, like we were talking about earlier.
Man.
I was just like, oh, Studio Ghibli, oh, they got to be doing something for Star Wars Vision season 2. It's like, nope, nothing on here from Studio Ghibli. It's like, what's going on, man? What's going on? Where is it? Give me the Ghiblis. Give it to me.
They seemed really keen to do it too. It seemed like they were fans of Star Wars and they wanted to.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe deals just didn't fall through or something.
Or maybe they're working on something
bigger. They did the
bigger.
Grogu thing.
Yeah, maybe they're working on something bigger.
Maybe schedules didn't line up.
It would be funny if we do find out like soon enough that they're like, oh yeah, by the way, Studio Ghibli is doing a full animated Star Wars film. I was like, damn, okay.
Whoa. Honestly, that would be really cool. That
would be cool.
Probably give me everything that I wanted from Visions.
Yep.
In a movie. So
exactly.
No, I hope we see that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is
Should
cool.
we move on to final thoughts and ratings for season 2 of Star Wars Visions, Mr. Berryson?
Okay, well, overall, I did enjoy this one more than season 1. I just felt like the stories, even though they were generic and everything like that, I just felt like they were more. I was happier watching them this season than I was last season. Like a lot of the ones in the first season, I was just like, oh, it's a new thing. They're gonna try it out in the first season. And yeah, it was like a bit different. And a lot of the episodes in season 1, I just didn't like at all. Like only really a couple in the first season. I really enjoyed, but this one overall, like I did enjoy aspects of every single episode besides the one by A. Ardman, which I was hoping that would be the best one. But yeah, I was just like, yeah. Like I like the animation style. That was it.
No, that's fair.
So my rating for this season of Star Wars Visions will be 4.5 out of 10.
4.5.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. But I think every time you give a rating, I'm like, oh god, Barry's evil.
Yep. Yep.
He's so harsh. Oh no, I get it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
get
I
it.
did say everybody, and you better go and listen to the
He did
Guardians of the
say.
Galaxy podcast again, because that was an amazing podcast, and everybody should go and listen to that one. I am going to start being a bit more rough on how I review things now. I want to start like taking notes, especially when we do more films now, of like all the bad elements to it, and start talking about that, like what could be improved upon and everything like that. Because I don't think we've talked really about that enough in the first 10 episodes that we did. So hopefully from now on, there's going to be, I'm the bad guy of this podcast. Clayton's meant to be the good guy. Gotta have the yin and yang. You gotta have the Sith and the Jedi, the light and the dark, you know? It's balance,
True.
it's symmetry.
Gotta bring balance. It would be
rhymes.
boring if we're all like, we just agree on everything.
Yeah.
True. All right. No, that's fair. I mean, I agree with your points for the most part. I don't agree with your score, though.
Ooh.
I'm going to give Star Wars Visions a 6 out of 10.
Nice.
And I thought that was being a bit harsh. I was kind of contemplating a 7 because, yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first season a bit more, I will say. Because just overall, some episodes outweighed everything in this season. And, yeah, some letdown episodes, some really cool episodes, different styles again. I like how they're not just redoing the same sort of styles as the first season. They're doing more, doing new. And I hope they keep doing more and they keep doing new stuff with it.
Yep.
And yeah, no, it just makes me want more.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
It was all right.
Give us more Star Wars.
Anything Star Wars. Yeah, we'll take it.
Star Wars. But just no more live action TV shows. I want a movie, please. Give me a Star Wars movie. It's been forever. Give me a good Star Wars movie.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's a ways away. 6 or 7 years still.
6 or
We've got
7 years.
6 seasons of the podcast before we get to that one.
I just want something.
Oh boy.
I just want something.
Oh man. Well, I've got something for you, Barry.
Is it the time? Is it time?
It's time for something different. Something that isn't Star Wars, but is enjoyable. It's Muppets Mayhem, baby.
It's animal.
Do you have a button? There's a needle button.
I don't need a button. Animal.
Oh man, why don't you take it away with your thoughts? Considering I don't know how you feel about this, show, Barry. Tell me what you think.
Well, introduction, everybody, to how this came about. The Muppets Mayhem. As a child, I'd enjoyed the Muppets quite a bit. Then a movie came out, I think about a decade ago, well, over a decade ago now, called The Muppets Movie, which I remember when that came out, and I'm just like, kind of trash. And like everything around that time for Muppets and stuff like that, I just
kidnapped Jack Black.
And it was just like, yeah, I'm never going to enjoy Muppets same thing ever again because, you know, it's really predominantly targeted towards kids. And then a Mr. Clayton comes up to me this week and he says like, Barry, we're not sure what we want to do for the podcast this week. There's no movies. We haven't gone to see any movies. I was like, why don't we do about the Muppets Mayhem? And I'm just like, about the what? And he's like, the Muppets Mayhem. It's about the band from the Muppets. And I was just like, does it have animal? And you're like, it's got animal. I was like, that's the only reason why I'm watching it. I still had very low expectations for this. Because I like animal. And then I started watching it. I sat down Friday night. I was expecting the first episode, being like, oh, here we go. I'm really going to hate this. I was already like thinking this is probably going to be the lowest rated thing I ever have on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely adore this show. This show is absolutely amazing. This is not...
It hooks you in.
It hooks you in,
man.
It is so well done. One of the episodes even has Morgan Freeman in it.
I know. Right?
They literally got everyone for this show. And I will let audience know now, like, obviously, like, yeah, it is still targeted kids and stuff like that. I would watch it as an adult, predominantly, because all the references and everyone they have in it is predominantly for, like, people that grew up in the 80s and grew up at the time when the Muppets were the biggest. And just, like, all the music references and stuff like that. I love the show. I absolutely love it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what 8-year-old is going to recognize Cheech and Chong in their basement? Like, it's like this. I mean, the show was PG, but it was for sexual references and
in one of the episodes. One of the episodes is dedicated to them being high on marshmallows.
Yeah, they do outdoors. They go out to the desert and get high on expired marshmallows, and that was probably one of my favorite segments of the whole show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man! All right, so let's give the audience a rundown of the Muppets Mayhem and the overall story. Why don't you take us away? Tell us what happens.
So basically, the overall story for Muppets Mayhem is that you got there's a Dr. Teefs and the Electric Mayhem
Dr.
Band.
Teef.
They've been on tour for the past 50 years, ever since the Muppets have been around. And obviously during that time, they've never made an album. Until obviously we follow Nora, the one character who's like the one that puts all this together. She's part of this studio company called Wax Studios. And they like find out on contract because they're going under or they're about to be taken by some other big company. And she's just like,
they're shredded.
Yeah, there's this one band that they still have a contract for to make an album, and then it turns out to be the Electric Mayhem Band. And so obviously she sets out on the mission to get them all together, to get them off tour, and actually get them to make an album. And then obviously just like a whole bunch of stuff happens over 10 episode arcs, which was surprising to have 10 episodes for this, even though they're only like 30 minutes each, which isn't too bad. But yeah, I absolutely enjoyed just every single episode of this. I was hooked.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, I started watching it the other weekend with my dad and that, who's a massive Muppets fan. He's got an animal T-shirt, right? And he just wanted to watch more. Yeah. And he's hated pretty much everything Muppets except, the original show on some of the movies.
Yeah.
So it's like, it holds. I mean, yeah, it hooked me in.
Oh, yeah.
I was surprised. Yeah, and I loved it. It was good. And it was weird to see something Muppets without Kermit or any of the other gang.
None of them are in here at all. They do get mentioned, but yeah, none of them are actually in it. The only like original other Muppets you see isn't really the old guys until right at the end, until the final episode. But yeah, all it was really about was the Electric Mayhem and animal. That's the whole reason why I wanted to watch it, was because it's animal, and I'm so excited that it was a whole bunch of animal and there's a whole bunch of these other characters. And I loved every single one of the characters in the Electric Mayhem because it did like go into like each character of the band as well a bit. Like they had their own kind of like stories going on, and then the same thing as Nora, the one that you follow and everything like that. She had her own ambitions and storylines going on, and yeah, it was good. It was really, really good. And how many cameos are in this show is ridiculous.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I love that. Oh man.
Was it
first episode has everyone?
Kevin James directed a documentary.
Is
it Kevin James?
Kevin James. No, is the guy who did Clerks did the doco of them. I can't remember.
I always get them confused.
What was his name?
But Kevin Smith.
Peter Jackson
Kevin Smith
was also in.
Peter Jackson.
And Peter Jackson shows up in that one to do the second part of the doco. That was my favorite episode. Riffing on the whole trilogy. Yeah, man. But like the
Lord of the Rings music played in the background. It was
so
great.
Good. Yeah. So stupid. That one and the episode where they get high. Those are my two favorite episodes. The middle of this season was the best.
Yes.
It kind of fell off to the end and it was off to a little bit of a slow start, but the middle was awesome. It was the funniest episodes. Everyone was great. Yeah, everyone was in this movie. In this show. Morgan Freeman was in it. Cheech and Chong were in it.
Yep.
Dead Mouse was in it. Steve Aoki. I got a list of guest stars. Billy Corgan. Yeah, a whole bunch of people. Yeah, Peter Jackson, Kesha, Lil Nas X.
Minecraft. They had Minecraft. Minecraft was in the show.
Ben Schwartz was in it. Weird Al was in it.
Yep.
As Chris Stapleton and Danny Trejo were in it.
Everyone,
Ryan Seacrest was in it.
Everyone's
in it. Yeah, and then a bunch of other people. The singer from the Bangles. A bunch of other things. Paul McCartney gets hung up on in it. That was funny.
Yeah, they spend all their money on getting Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman was in it. Yeah,
and that's what I was just like. Mental. That was out of nowhere because I didn't know he was in it at all. Right, I had no idea. And then all of a sudden in the scene where they're making the documentary, which is probably my favorite episode.
Yeah. So
He's just
funny.
like trying to play what's his name? What's the blue one called? Zoot.
Zoot.
And that
The
because
saxophone
Zoot
player.
thinks it's like this is an actual movie getting made and everything like that.
Who's gonna play me?
Who's gonna play me? And they keep coming up with names and stuff like that.
I know. You should get Elvis to play me.
Yeah, he's dead.
Elvis, sorry, Zoot.
He sounds like me.
What? When? It was surprising how much they fleshed out this small cast of characters, which is crazy because all of the Muppet stuff focuses on the big ensemble, and unless you're Animal, no one cares about any of the other members of this band.
Nope.
You didn't.
Nope.
But now you do.
Now I do.
Now you do, and it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was really cool.
Yeah. I was surprised that they pulled it off, considering, it's like, it's a Muppets thing without Kermit or Fozzie Bear or Miss Piggy or any of these other people. It's like, the characters that are funny and we know and would, work in this situation. It's like, no, we scrapped all of them. Here's the band. We'll flesh these guys out. You don't know anything about them. Let's do that. Let's fix that.
Well,
And
yeah,
it
that's the
was
thing.
so
I
funny.
think that it also kind of like works as well with it. A bit because there's like, well, nobody knows really much about these characters and stuff like that. So probably the writers were just like, well, we can do our own thing essentially and just make like a really good like band story essentially. And that's what they did. Like it was literally like
genius,
watching
honestly.
like a band making an album. And I really hope there's a season 2. Because obviously they do tease it at the end.
Yeah,
Because
they're going on tour again.
Yeah, going on tour again because of the album that they make.
Oh man, I love every character in this show. Animal was great. Some of the funniest jokes when he goes and gets a job.
Ben Schwartz, yes.
Ben Schwartz, he becomes like a hibachi chef.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
So what he
It's so
he was
funny.
going back and forth. Obviously, there's a scene between Ben Schwartz and Animal, which Ben Schwartz tweeted about, and he's like, it was literally the best thing to work on with was Animal. And he's just like, at one point, he's like, oh, can you answer telephones? Yeah, Nora. Can you answer telephones? He's like, yeah. And so they have like a scene where he keeps hanging up on people, then he gets caught. And it's like, oh, obviously that's not working out. And it's like, what other one did he did? Cleaner. That's
he was
right.
a cleaner.
Can you be a cleaner? And he's like spinning around on one of the cleaning machines. Yeah. And then also at the same time, he's like keeps saying yes to Ben Schwartz with everything. He's like, yeah. And then Ben Schwartz, I was like, oh, do you think I'm handsome? No. He's like, oh, real truth there. Real truth. Yeah.
He was so funny. Or when he Animal gets the hots for the main character Nora in it. Nora. Since the first episode. He's trying to give her things.
Yeah.
In the first episode when they show up at her house, he just holds out the flowers for you. Nora.
Yeah. And when they're like in one of the
flowers he
episodes, like the beginning when they're in the van, he was just finding things in the van to like give to her. Oh, great. It was great.
Flower surgery. So stupid. That's just his way of saying that he loves you, man. He's showing his affection.
It's your affection, man.
This is my goat. Oh yeah. So the other cast members, we obviously have Dr. Teeth himself as arguably the main Muppets guy in this, who gets fleshed out the most.
Yes.
We get some cool stuff with him.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch like backstory and flashbacks.
Yeah,
and
when
everything.
his parents shop, the flashback scenes with this felt really cool.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird just how well those were done, just as their own thing. It felt like a really cool backstory to the Muppets show, because obviously this fits into the canon of it all.
Yep.
Which is weird to say, the Muppets show canon. But no, that works. He was really cool. He's the secondary member, the bass man, Mr. Floyd Pepper. He's always funny. He's kind of the normal one of the group.
He's basically
the one that
like
explains stuff.
Animal's foster dad as well. He's the one that
just
like raised
shows
Animal.
up on his doorstep. Yeah. He's just like a furball with feet. The baby animal. They're definitely going to sell that as like a plush toy.
Oh yes, yeah. I've always wanted to get, if I ever got like a Muppet or something like that, it would be actually like a full-on Muppet of or puppet of Animal.
Oh man. Yeah, well, when we did our Gronk films for our TAFE Film Fest, I wanted to get a Muppet. I wanted to put a Muppet in it, but I couldn't get one. I want to get just have a proper Muppet and put that in,
That would have
just
been
in
cool.
the show.
That would have been cool.
Oh yeah, I wish. We're gonna have to look into a Muppet now for something. We're gonna have to look into it.
A WTF Muppet?
Can we get Muppets of ourselves?
We can be turned into
What?
Muppets? What?
We could do like our own Muppet movie.
Animal.
Yours is just animal.
Exactly.
I
Animal.
liked it 4. That's your one.
Uh,
Oh, that could be really good. Who else we got? We got what was the girl's name?
Penny?
Ooh, hang on. Janice, that's right.
Janice. That's it.
Janice. She's so out there, man.
Like, yeah,
She
man.
starts a cult.
That's right. I
Like,
forgot about the
just want
cult
to
thing.
totally make everyone feel good. Like, totally.
Like, yeah, totally, man.
Just
Yeah.
starts a cult. Always trying to heal the group. A good side character. Had some funny moments with her. Not much fleshing out. Was there for the jokes.
Yep.
Then we've got my favorite character. The trumpet player, Lips.
You
You said it, man.
And then, like,
Yeah.
every now and again, I think they, like, at the beginning, I don't know if you realize with Lips's character that, because at the beginning, even Nora and that can't understand him at all. And you can't understand what he's saying at all. But actually, towards later episodes, some of the words that he was saying were actually a lot more clear. I was like, was that intentionally written? Or
It was, because at the end of the episode, one of the last things is Nora's like, hey, I actually understood Lips. And they're like, because you remember the band now, you get him.
Yeah, but even like
I'm
the
like,
audience, you
oh.
could like actually understand him. Like, it didn't sound like horrible gibberish.
Yeah. It was really funny. He answers the phone like, "Mana." It's always someone famous that he knows. That was really funny. And then my other favorite character, the saxophone player Zoot,
Zoot.
who was just clueless the entire show.
Wow, man.
So-
Oh my God. What's going on? Who's Nora? Whoa.
What?
This is home? Yeah, Morgan Freeman. Who's the guy?
Wait, we're doing a documentary?
And that's right. He's like, because he's like at the end. There's obviously post-credit scenes at the end of every single episode, and it's Zoot,
Oh, yeah.
taking pictures with his Polaroid. Oh, that's right. Remember the episode when they like get all the iPhones and stuff like that?
Yeah,
and they're like,
I can take pictures on my phone.
Where's
Where's the photo? App?
It goes on the cloud. There's a cloud?
Oh, I'm not
What
much for
cloud?
airplanes, man. When he has an art gallery, when the band splits up, they all go their separate ways. He has an art gallery, and it's all just photos he's taken.
Yeah.
And they're like, $10,000 for this photo of my lip. Oh man, I love what you're doing with the art. What art? He's just
So
he's
doesn't.
there. Who are you?
Yeah. He just doesn't care. That's right. 'Cause, yeah. Then Nora leaves and everything like that because it's obviously
Yeah.
and then Animal's just like Nora, tries to get everyone back together to find Nora.
Nora
and stuff
gone.
like Nora gone. And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, we all. It's like, yeah, I remember your name now. You're part of the family, and he's still just like he says, like calls her a completely different name.
Or when they come back home to their shack and they're like, "Oh, man, you're gonna lose your home," and so it's like, "Wait, we lived here." And stuff like that. It's so stupid.
It is
Oh,
stupid, but it's
man.
great.
So, yeah, and then Animal
Animal.
was the
Animal.
last Animal. God, he stole every scene that he was in.
Bunny,
It's so funny.
bunny,
Yeah.
you got bunny, bunny.
What was the other producer's name that was like Nora's love interest for a little while? JJ. His
JJ,
reaction
that's
with
right.
JJ
Yeah.
every single time was so funny. JJ bad, but JJ good.
Oh,
Gets him a
So
bunny and
stupid.
every. Oh,
yeah.
so
That's
funny.
right. It gets him
And
like
then,
one buddy and then another buddy, and then the bunnies start multiplying, and then they just destroy everything.
bunnies make more bunnies. And they start like attacking him. Oh yeah, that was really funny.
Had the
And,
old
yeah.
man from Everywhere All at Once, and it had the whole like chef's
Yeah.
like thing again. He's like, he's the chosen one.
Yeah. Oh, this show was so well done. Do you want to talk about any episodes in particular? Because there's two that I want to talk about that we mentioned.
Yeah,
The documentary episode.
documentary
and these are really
episode.
high.
Yes, we can talk about the
So
documentary
well
one.
done.
But I want to
Oh,
say,
man.
actually, with each of the episodes, I don't know if you realize with the titles of what they're called.
They're all song titles.
They're all
yeah.
song titles.
They're
I
all
was like,
song
ooh,
titles.
that's very impressive. But yes,
I loved
definitely the documentary episode was by far the best. And you can definitely tell the most high budget one because they had everybody in that one episode. That's the
nailed
Morgan
it.
Freeman episode.
They
'cause
nailed it. They made it look like Get Back. It was so funny.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
like how they poke fun at Disney Plus too.
Oh, yeah.
in the show. Really fun. The end of the
Yeah,
first
Disney's
episode,
gonna
they
love
end up
this.
hanging on a cliff. Disney Plus is gonna love this. No. But no, the documentary show episode was my favorite because I'd only watched Get Back this year, so that's still fresh in my mind. The Beatles documentary.
Yeah,
So watching this, I was laughing my head off the whole way through. When Penny is like Yoko Ono in it,
Yep,
she dresses up, starts like singing. Oh, and they do the rooftop performance at the end. They have the we gave them a deadline of 8 days because they had to do something to do something. It starts cutting through.
Had to be a fake
and
deadline.
Zoot's trying to cast himself.
This is
So who's going to play me?
Who's going to
You're
play
going to
me?
play you. Oh,
Oh,
he
what?
doesn't get it. No, sure he doesn't get it.
I should get Frank Sinatra
Oh.
to play me. Frank Sinatra's dead. What?
What? When? It's like, man. Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to watch that episode again.
Oh, yeah, for
Just 'cause
sure.
it was
for sure.
really funny. Oh yeah. Everyone else in this kind of felt, like generic. All the human characters were, good.
Yeah, yeah.
They were definitely taken a seat back to the Muppets, especially in the later episodes. Towards the start, it was very much Nora's show, Lily Singh's character,
Yes.
and then she took a step back, which I was surprised. I was like, oh, they're gonna have the band be side characters and it's gonna be her show, But no,
It's
like,
no,
by the
they
third or
kept
fourth
it
episode,
focused on
she's like, no,
the
this is the
Muppets.
band.
Yeah, because there was
And
a
that
whole
same- yeah.
episode dedicated about Dr. Teef's backstory and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like an entire episode just to get dedicated.
That one
about
was
him.
really funny too. Yeah, and it was, and same with the music too. When they threw in all of these modern artists and like, oh, we're gonna push this pop music, this new music. I'm like, oh, they're gonna do some really shit songs with these like more modern artists, and then they did that,
Nope.
and they're like, this sucks. Let's
Yeah.
go back to the old stuff. And I'm like, what? This in 2023, they're gonna go back to that?
Yeah.
Like they had all the modern jokes, but then like, no, we're gonna let the band do their 70s thing. And I'm like, really surprising, especially from Disney.
Oh, yeah.
For those two things.
Yep.
Which, props to it, man. This was
Oh,
a
yeah.
great
No,
show.
how this has been written, like the writers behind it and everything like that, and the producers and the director and stuff like that, is just on point. Like with
Yeah.
everything, like the smallest like details and stuff like that. There was a couple times though, I will admit, this is what we see as filmmakers now and everything like that. There was a few
Oh, yeah.
continuity issues and stuff like that. Like there was a scene where
Yeah,
like,
there was a few.
there was a few. But like still like being like working with obviously puppets in trying to get them to interact with people as well and getting them to do
So
a lot
hard
of the
to do.
actions that they did, even with the Muppets. Even I was
Yeah.
impressed. I was just like, how are they doing this?
I love Jim Henson's puppet team. There's no one like him. No one does puppets like Jim Henson.
No.
It's crazy. It's like, how can you make this thing made of felt and make us care about it and make hundreds of them, make them all funny, make them all different, make them all lifelike and fit in the world where they're interacting with humans
Yep.
and look good. And they pull it off. I don't think there was a moment where they didn't pull it off. I mean, like, the puppets do no wrong, man. You can never falter them.
It's
so
great.
good.
It's so good.
Oh, man. So funny.
So,
Yes, it
what
felt
other
like
episode did you want to talk about? Was I'm guessing the high one where they're out in the desert?
Yeah, I was not expecting that. They do the whole doors thing. They alright, so the setup for that episode is the band has creative block, so they rent out an Airbnb from some guy in Bolivia, and
That's
it turns
right.
out to just be a wall with a door in the middle of the desert. That was really funny. So they sit around the campfire and they're like, hey, at least this base came with marshmallows, man. And then like they start taking the marshmallows and they start feeling wacky. And Moog, the other main guy character in it, he's like, oh, hang on, man. These inspired in 1992. And Zoot's like, oh, good, we still got a month left.
Oh,
I don't do sugar, man.
I don't do sugar, man.
And they
That's in my
all
head.
go into their own worlds and have these really funny, like drugged out high moments. His eyes open.
That's right.
He starts seeing "Save the World" lips in the sky.
Oh,
He starts freaking out. Yeah, Animal sees like a baby version of himself that speaks in like a weird British accent.
that's right. Yeah, British animal. God, jolly so you were doing this because of Nora. Now go and find Nora.
Oh yeah, that episode was great. And again, it surprised me. It's like this
And
is
it's
a
the one
PG show aimed
Weird
at
Al
kids.
is like did a whole Mufasa moment with who was it? Was it Dr. Teeves?
That was with Floyd.
That was with Floyd. That's right. Yeah.
He was like, yeah,
He's
well,
like,
at least this can't get any weirder. Hey,
is this
Weird
like
Al.
the Lord of the Rings? No, Lion King moment.
Just like
He's
the
like,
Lion King?
no,
Completely different.
completely
He starts
different.
doing it. And then a cactus Muppet's like, you are doing a Lion King. Bring it in, and he starts hugging the cactus.
Yeah.
Oh, stuff like that was really funny. Yeah. So no,
Mm.
this show surprised me. I want more Muppet stuff I want more lesser known Muppets to get fleshed out like this. I don't know if I want a second season or I want something different. Or both.
Well, that's the thing. I would like to see now. I would love to see a second season of this, but maybe they like slowly introduce some of the other Muppets into it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they could bring Kermit in.
Yeah, but like more of the unknown ones a bit, like what you were saying.
Oh yeah.
And like
maybe like
doing
Ralph
that type
the
of thing.
dog or something.
Yeah. The Muppets that everyone's forgotten about. Because that's the thing, like these days and stuff
There's
like
a lot
that,
of
I don't
Muppets.
think Muppets has that big recognition like they used to.
No.
Like it's still like
really.
obviously it's a big name and everything like that still, but like who really talks about the Muppets these days?
No one. I mean, when they did that rebooted movie in 2011, the one that you didn't like, but I thought was all right, that gained some traction again. They've done a couple of terrible TV show things afterwards where they tried to make them realistic and relatable, and that was awful. And then this felt like very much a return to form for the Muppets, which is not something I thought I'd be saying about a show about 5 of them that I couldn't remember any of their names before watching this show. I was like, I know their faces from watching the Muppet Show, but I couldn't tell you any of them except Animal. And now it's like some of my favorite characters now out of the Muppets, which has a roster of hundreds.
Yeah. Yep.
Mental. Yeah.
Mental, man.
Mental, man. Should we final thoughts and ratings for the Muppets Mayhem?
So well, my final thoughts on this show was I was completely blown away. Like I was very surprised on how this was done. Obviously, like all the references, what they threw in, had Cheech and Chong in it, man. Cheech and Chong have been in
That
nothing.
was so fun.
They just like come through the ceiling. They've just been in the basement for the past 50 years or whatever they've been doing.
There's been a light switch this whole time.
It's
so
just
funny.
like just the small details on what they like talk about and like some of the other cameos as well. There was so much going on. I actually probably rewatch it. Most likely just to pick up on it all.
Definitely missed some jokes. It was great.
And then obviously I got animal, and I was very excited about that. So I am going to give a solid 7 out of 10 rating on this. I really enjoyed it. I was very impressed by it. And I'm probably going to rewatch a couple of the episodes anyway, especially the documentary one, because there's so many jokes going on. Like it's all happening at like so quickly. But yeah, I really want a season 2. I really want a season 2.
I'm down for it. They showed that the jokes didn't get tiring. These characters were funny the whole way through. Not one point was like, oh, he's doing the stupid joke again. Or he's forgotten this. Or oh, Animal's doing something stupid. It's always funny.
Yeah,
it's never not funny.
But that's the thing, because even with Animal's character, I was a bit worried because he's like obviously the biggest Muppet out of all of them as well. Yeah. I was really worried that they're going to like add him a lot, and that's the thing. Animal doesn't really say much or do much. He's just like either Animal or like Nora in this entire thing. But it's his actions upon what he did, and even like the smaller details, like that whole scene with Ben Schwartz when he's like just going back and forth, and like he has his own like unique scenes every single time. And I was like, it wasn't too much, but it was also enough.
No, it was great. some of the stuff with Animal felt like it was its own show because
Oh yeah.
he steals the show. Animal has the best facial animations out of all of the Muppets. The stuff that he
That's why he
raises his
becomes like
eyebrow
a
in a certain way.
TikTok star in one day.
Tick tock, tick
He's
tock,
just like
tock.
scratching his
He
ass.
goes mental.
Tick tock,
So
tock,
stupid.
tick tock.
Yeah. Oh, it was really funny. Anyway, yeah,
was.
I'm gonna give the Muppets Mayhem a 7.5 out of 10.
Nice.
A little bit higher than you.
A little bit
Staying
higher.
good cop.
Yep.
No, I enjoyed it. It blew me away with how well it was done, and possibly due to how low my expectations were for a Muppets show in 2023.
Yes.
That probably contributed to that a fair bit, but no, it blew me away. It was really well done. It was really funny. It was really well written, and it was well done. I liked it. I want more.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Nice. Well, I think that's it for this episode. Should we call it
Yeah,
then,
it's
Barry?
about that time.
About that time.
About that time again where we all say goodbye for another evening. We say our goodbyes and we go, animal, animal,
Animal.
animal,
Oh,
animal.
wait, we were doing a podcast?
Wait a minute, we were doing a podcast. Oh, God. I forgot.
All right. Follow us on socials, download the podcast, listen to it wherever you find podcasts, and we'll see you next week for another episode of We Talk Film. That's bye from us.
Bye. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Blew me away.